Hello, my name is Kimberly Meyer, and I want to welcome you to another Bull City International Film Festival sneak preview. Today, we are talking with Roxy Toporowych. She's the writer and director of the film Julia Blue. Roxy, thank you for joining us today. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. First, let me say that I think this film is really important, and I just want to get that out there right now. Given the circumstances that are going on in Ukraine right now, I'm really glad we're able to showcase this. So,
Yeah, I'm really thankful that you guys reached out because I feel like it's very timely.
yeah, I definitely, absolutely. Well, the first question I have for you is, how did you get into filmmaking?
Um, well, I got into filmmaking because when I was very little, like 12, 13, I just always would do plays and I was interested in movies, and I never saw any movies about Ukrainian people or like anyone who had like a different culture in their life. And then I discovered foreign films, and I discovered the library had, when people still went to the library, I don't know if they still do, but you could rent foreign movies. And I got really interested in like seeing other people's worlds and languages on screen. And it's something about that didn't make me feel so strange as a first generation kid in America. I connected to it. And so I just started like grabbing a video camera and making movies with my friends. And I never thought of doing anything else. It was always just like what I was going to do.
Wow, I love that. Thank you. Well, when did you make this film originally?
So I made Julia Blue. We shot it in 2015. I was a Fulbright scholar living in Ukraine. Um, and that was when Putin and the Russian army first came in and invaded Crimea and then came into the east. It was right after this big revolution. I don't know if people remembered the revolution in 2014. So I made it because I didn't know what else I could do to tell the story of the people around me. I felt very lost living over there as an American. Like I have family in Ukraine, but I didn't grow up there, and I visited for vacations a few weeks at a time. And I just knew that, the best asset, the best skill I have is filmmaking. So I kind of just somehow convinced a bunch of Ukrainians that we can make a movie together. And that's what we did.
Wow, that's incredible. The power of art.
Yeah, it's important. It helps everybody, I think.
I agree 100%. So I was able to watch your movie the night before last, and I was really struck by the juxtaposition of the gentle love story set against the backdrop of a violent war. It really pulled me in, and I felt the tension between those two extremes, the beauty and the tragedy throughout the whole film. For you, how does the story of Julia and English translate to the events that are going on right now? And what do you want people to remember?
I think the important thing to know is that what we're seeing today is not the first time Russia did this. Russia did this in 2014. And so the mobilization of the everyday people, having to be volunteers, having to all of a sudden join the military when you were like an accountant yesterday, that is the story of English. That's his storyline. He was a regular guy going to school who then had to become a soldier. And that's happening today. I mean, like, to me, it's like a mirror. It relates. I'm actually kind of sad that it's like life imitates art, imitates life again. The cycle doesn't stop. So it was important for me when I was living there. I wanted to show young people and I wanted to show hope. So the reason why I made a film that at the end, I don't want to give away the ending. It does have a hopeful ending, like the very, very end. But I wanted to show the beauty of Ukraine because I felt like there's a lot of stories about war and the violence of war and like horrible things that happen, but also war affects people. Just your everyday life is affected. So it's not one of those like action-packed films, like war films. It's a very quiet film, and that was important to me. And I wanted to just show also all the beautiful places I found. So I wrote a lot of the film to the locations, like places in Cave that I loved. And the village is my family's village, and that's my whole family's in the cast.
Oh,
So
wow.
like the little boy is my nephew, and I just got the whole village. I was like, throw a wedding for us, we'll film it. And, you know, I just wanted people to see that Ukraine is so pretty and so beautiful and has people full of heart and has a culture. Because I think that the news and the information people have about Ukraine before last week was always very limited, and it was misinformation.
Mm.
You know, people ask me my entire life, well, do you speak Russian? I've never spoken Russian. Nobody Ukrainian, no, none of us, my friends or parents, we didn't speak Russian. We spoke Ukrainian. So it was just it's my love letter. That's it, my love letter. I don't
Wow.
know if I answered your question properly or what you wanted, but
Absolutely. And I think you achieved exactly what you said. You showed so much beauty. And I was just completely enthralled with the film. I thought it was beautiful. It was emotional. I mean, and obviously this is a very deeply personal film to you. So you answered the question exactly.
thanks.
Just beautifully done. So
Thank you.
what was the biggest challenge that you faced making this film?
Well, as a filmmaker, it's kind of challenging to choose for your first narrative to be a foreign film. I mean, that was pretty tough because my crew, not everybody spoke English. I speak fluent Ukrainian, but I speak like 1945 Ukrainian, like preserved Ukrainian.
Mm.
So I would ask for things like somebody hand me a pen, but I was using the word quill because I know, you know, there was some funny like language barriers, but really it was just as a filmmaker, just getting to work every day, like showing up and knowing like you're in charge of this whole production. You know, you have to be in the right mindset for it. Like all of these people are following me. I'm responsible for them. I'm responsible for the story. That was, I'd say, the hardest part because there are times where you just want to like, you know, go into a room and just fall apart and think like, how am I gonna do this? Like, what have I done? There was a moment where I thought, what have I done? You know, what have I done? But, you know, once you kind of get past that and just approach the art with like more of a methodical, um, like step by step, and I took the mountain away, like that became easier. But yeah, the hardest part was just like every day waking up and be like, okay, I can do this.
No, that makes sense. That makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense. Well, my last question is, and I know a lot of people are going to want to know this, how can people help? If you have any
Mm.
legitimate, organizations that
Mhm.
where people can donate, you can tell us now, and we will also
Yes.
links below the interview on the festival's webpage. So
Yes, there's a lot of great organizations. I actually, in my little war room here, I'm going to grab this off the wall. It's not really a war room. I'm just helping my relatives. This website, I don't know if you get, does it show up properly for you? The
raise
link
it a
tree,
little bit. Yes. Okay.
Linktree, Razum for Ukraine. They have all of the verified places to donate. So you can go into the Linktree and pick what suits you as a person. Some people want to donate to refugees. Some people want to help medical supplies. You know, they're all, it's kind of divided and personal. So I don't want to tell someone you have to donate here. But I found this Linktree to be helpful. And there's also a group called Nova Ukraine, Nova Ukraine. They're based out of California, and they've raised like $4 million. They're doing incredible work, and they are shipping things to Ukraine now. There's kind of an issue with getting supplies there. So, I mean, even like I talked to my cousins a few minutes ago, and the grocery stores are empty and things are starting to look a little more difficult. But so I would say do that, and also find out if there's a rally in your town. Rallies are also really fun. You can meet a lot of cool people. You can be a part of something and physically be involved. So I would do that.
Great advice. Thank you so much. Thank you, Roxy, for your time today, for sharing this film with us, for sharing your story.
Thank you. I hope you guys like it. And I want to add one last thing. Everybody in the cast is okay. That's it.
That's important. Thank you for
Yes.
doing that as well.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Yes, thank you. And as a reminder for our viewers, the 5th annual Bull City International Film Festival is here. So it's being held virtually starting today, March 4th, and it runs through March 7th. So don't forget to get your tickets if you haven't already, and be sure to check out the film Julia Blue. You will not regret it. So thank you.
Thank you.